Welcome back, students, into this simplest numerology course where we are learning about Indian numerology. We will not call it as Vedic numerology, but we will just call it as Indian numerology because there is no numerology available in the Vedas or the written scriptures from ancient India. There's nothing like Vedic numerology. So before this, we learnt three different numbers. There is Moolank, and then the Bhagyank and the Namank, right? These are the only three core numbers that we will be using in Vedic numerology. Everything else comes from Chaldean numerology and Pythagorean numerology, which you will need to integrate together to be able to give better interpretations for your customers or clients. Okay. Now, one of the most important things about Indian numerology is that each number is associated with a planet. And the planets come from Vedic astrology. So, Vedic numerology picks up planets from Indian astrology, that is Vedic astrology. And then it takes the letter to number mapping from Chaldean numerology, and it takes a few concepts from Pythagorean numerology also. Right? So, number 1 is always Sun, number 2 is Moon, number 3 is Jupiter. We've already gone through this entire list. Right? Now, you need to understand, if say your Moolank is number 1, who will you be compatible with? If another person has a Moolank of 9, will you be compatible with that person? That is a simple question, right? Moolank is nothing but the personality, your personality. What are you from inside, right? So, there are two different ways of understanding compatibility. One is the Indian Vedic astrology way, wherein each planet has a friend, has an enemy. We will not call it as enemy, but we will just call it as not friend for now, right? So, some planets are good with each other, some planets are not good with each other, and some planets are simply neutral with each other. Meaning, let's say Sun, for example. In this case, Sun is the father. Let's say Sun is the father, Moon is the mother, Mars is the elder son, Mercury is the younger son, Venus is the younger son, Mercury's, let's say, friend, Jupiter is the very is a uncle who has a lot of wisdom. Okay, so if I just have to draw a chart, let's do this. Right, so Sun is the father, Moon is the mother, you have Mars who is the elder son, and Mercury who is the younger son. And Mercury also comes with Venus as a friend, right? So this is how the tree looks like. And you have Jupiter who is the uncle, who is full of wisdom. Okay. Saturn at the top is the grand old grandfather. Okay, and he is also similar to Jupiter, but he is very strict, right? And then you have Rahu and Ketu, who are also a part of the same family, but Rahu and Ketu, Rahu is all about obsessions, is an uncle who teaches bad things to your sons, and Ketu is somebody who teaches spirituality to your sons. Okay, now using this logic, if we look at Vedic meanings, it's not logic, it's just a way to remember. This is written nowhere in any Vedic astrology text, but it's a way to remember the characteristics of each planet. Okay, so Sun, let's switch to the pen. Okay, now Sun, being the father, obviously likes the mother, right? Jupiter is always good to most of the planets. Jupiter is about the higher learning. It's about intellectual learning. It's about wisdom. So, let's say if Sun is the king, Jupiter is going to be his advisor. So, Sun will always like Jupiter. Similarly, Sun is the king and Mars is a protector. He's the fighter. He's like a soldier, right? So Sun will always like Mars. Okay, but Sun does not like Saturn, or Saturn does not like Sun, The fact is that Saturn is against authority. Saturn does not support authority, meaning Saturn is always about the lower range of people, like the normal workers. If there is a factory, then Saturn always represents the laborers in that factory, right? But Sun represents the owners of that factory, who's the leadership, right? So Sun and Saturn will always be against each other, because Saturn always opposes authority, because Saturn is at the bottom. I mean, Saturn supports the bottom of that pyramid, right? Similarly, Venus is about luxury, Venus is about beauty, Venus is about comfort. It goes completely against the philosophy of Sun. So Sun is always an enemy to Venus. So we'll not call it as an enemy, we'll just call it as not friend or not. So if I am in the army, I will not like somebody who is partying all the time, right? So it is a not like. It's not that I am an enemy to that person. So we will not call this as enemies. We will just call it as not friend. Okay. Similarly, Sun and Mercury. Mercury is all about intelligence, communication. Mercury lives in the transactional world, right? And so Sun is against it, but since Mercury is like a younger Sun, so Sun is neutral to Mercury. Similarly, Moon is friends with Sun and Mercury. Moon always likes the younger Sun, right? Younger child. And Moon has no don't like or not friends. So Moon is neutral to all others. Moon is friends with Sun and Mercury only. Jupiter, as I said before, likes authority, Sun, Moon and Mars. Jupiter is neutral to Saturn, because Jupiter is also a teacher and Saturn is also a teacher. Jupiter will teach you wisdom throughout life with simple lessons, but Saturn teaches you wisdom with actual life lessons. He'll teach you the reality about the world, he'll teach you about the reality that you have not seen yet, right? So Jupiter is neutral to Saturn because they are doing similar things, right? But in different ways. But again, Jupiter does not like Mercury and Jupiter does not like Venus, because Jupiter is about higher learning and being intellectual, right? But Mercury is all transactional. So Jupiter doesn't like Mercury. And similarly, Jupiter and Venus don't go together because the ideologies are different, right? We'll come back to Rahu and Ketu a little later. Mercury likes Sun, Mercury likes Venus, obviously, and Mercury does not like the Moon, because if you are strong in Mercury, if your Mercury is strong, you will always all be about business and you'll be about transactions, you'll be about intelligence and communication. What is that one thing? Let's say your Mercury is strong and you are into stock marketing and stock broking, right? What is that one thing that makes you unstable? It's always the Moon. If your mind is unstable, then you will not be able to earn any money through stocks. And so we say Moon is a not friend to Mercury, right? Everything else is neutral. Now Venus likes Mercury and Saturn, as we've already seen. The idea of Venus liking Saturn is because Saturn is always structured and thinks long term, right? Venus likes beauty, comfort, but also if Venus is close to Saturn, then Saturn is providing that structure and the long term thinking for it, right? So a person will be hardworking, structured and thinks long term, and he will have Venus ideal. So Venus will always support Saturn,